What's your story?
Hello. Today we are talking about a topic that I am very excited about, and it is holding space and being kind to yourself. Wow. This is something I don't think we do enough. And also, I think it's something that has gotten a lot of this a lot of just bad rap around that whole like, oh, holding space and oh, it's so frou frou, girly, terminology they use in therapy, whatever, whatever it is. So I want you to clear your mind and put down any judgments that you might have around this topic. So come to it with an open mind because chances are you just might take away some really good, applicable things that you can do that are going to help you. And I really believe are going to change your life. So I could have also titled this, and I might just also title this the the top 12 ways to be kind to yourself and to change your life today. So whichever one resonates with you more, we can go with that. But we're going to talk about holding space, the definition of that, what that actually means, how that plays out, and how you can do that today for yourself and for others. And then we're going to talk about being kind to yourself and the top 12 ways that I believe are super, super helpful to be kind to yourself and can actually change your life. Can have you live longer, have you age slower, all those good things. So let's get into it. All right. I looked up the definition of holding space because we all kind of have, like I said, our preconceived notions and judgments on what that can mean. But I wanted to have a more clinical approach to the terminology of holding space. So here is what a quick Google search found me. The definition of holding space means giving support that is free of judgment. This is really important. This is really important for you to do. Giving support that is free of judgment. It involves a conscious and deliberate choice to put aside our agenda, the need for our own specific outcome, and the desire to give advice or fix, in quotes, a person or their situation. Now, that is holding space, the definition of holding space, according to a Google search. Now, here's a definition of holding space for oneself. Holding space for self means treating yourself with kindness, care, compassion, and self-love. When you hold space for yourself, you give yourself a place to check in, self-care, or self-regulate. It invites self-awareness and creates space for you to reflect and understand yourself. All right, so before we kind of go into an exercise that I like to imagine on holding space, I kind of want to get out of the way the things that holding space is not. The what holding space does not mean, because I believe just as important as the definition of what holding space is and the concept, just equally important is what it is not and what we're not talking about. Because I think a lot of us have grown up with this being what we think is the social norm, and maybe what we've become accustomed to being the social norm. So, again, another Google search helped me with this. But what holding space is not meant for So, effectively holding space requires us to go against many of our natural human tendencies. Heather Plett, an international speaker, writer, coach, and facilitator, and an expert on all things related to holding space, defines the opposite of holding space as emotional colonization. And if you're like me, you're like, what the heck is that? Emotional colonization can be obvious and extreme, as in instances of emotional abuse and violence. But it can also manifest in subtle and often subconscious ways. Those subtle behaviors are common to all humans, and it is in exploring these natural tendencies that we can grow to become more effective space holders. Some of these behaviors include placing expectations on the other person to view situations with our own perspectives, thus dismissing their stories with stories of our own, interrupting them, or invalidating their experience. Hmm. When I read that, I was like, ooh, yeah, I've done that. And I think if we're honest, if we're all honest with ourselves, we have all done that at one time or another. Tried to normalize or dismiss someone's story by interrupting them or invalidating their experience, or trying to be like, "Oh, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's bad, but, like, I had it 10 times worse, so you should be really thankful." Maybe you had a parent or a teacher or a mentor that said this to you. Or, the age-old, tale of, when I was your age, I had to walk to school barefoot, uphill both ways, in the snow, through a blizzard." Uh, so we all know that, but I guess the terminology for that is emotional colonization, where we are trying to, um invalidate someone else's experience. And I don't think we do this intentionally. In fact, I'm pretty certain we don't, for the most part, do this intentionally. This is something that has actually been taught to us. And it probably came out of a coping mechanism, um, so that people would feel like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. Maybe out of like a generation that went through a lot of things. I don't know, like World War I or World War II or something like that. That or Vietnam. That then they were like, "Oh, well, you don't have it that bad." And today, we're in 2023, and so to tell someone, to invalidate someone's story by a story of our own is not holding space for that person. And maybe you do this to yourself. If you're like me, maybe you do it to yourself. So, I wanted to walk you through this exercise that you can do that will help you silence that voice that's trying to invalidate you and invalidate your stories, and to help you practice holding space for yourself. Because before we can hold space for others, we need to learn how to hold space for ourselves. You probably have heard the the proverb that says, "Love one another," right? As you yourself yourself, love each other. Well, some of us aren't very good at loving ourselves. And I'm going to go so far as to say that I think that is because we don't really know how to hold space for ourselves and then be kind to ourselves without judgment. So, deep breath in, exhale everything out. All right, you might have to kind of get some movement in this. Another deep breath in. This time, I want you to reach up to the sky. And exhale everything out. Just kind of shake it down, shake it down. Okay. Now, without judgment, I want you to hold space for yourself. So this is how I do it. I imagine that I'm in a closet, okay? And in this closet, I feel safe, but it's kind of tight in this closet. You could do this with your eyes closed or you could do it with your eyes open, however you want. And of course, if you're driving, keep your eyes open and on the road. But I imagine I'm in a closet and I feel safe, but I'm aware that it's a pretty tight space. And I want to create more room. So I knock down the walls like you see them do on HGTV. And I just push them all back in front of me, to the sides of me, behind me. And you can, as you're doing this, you can get as free with this as you want. You could pretend you're kicking down those walls, karate chopping them, whatever you want to do. Or you could just sit there and use a force and be like, boom, there goes that wall. And I'm pushing them all back. And now I'm in a huge room, like the size of a ballroom. And the walls are so far away from me. And now in this space, I can breathe. And I notice that I can breathe. And now in this space, I get to be me. And I give myself permission, full permission to be myself. So in this space, I want you to give yourself permission. Repeat after me. I have full permission to be myself. I give myself permission to have space, to breathe, to be kind, and to give myself room to do what I need to do. All right, now, this is also an exercise in becoming very self-aware. Now, I want you to become very aware of your body and the cues that your body is telling you. It might be telling you it needs to lay down and take a nap. Good thing there's a huge king-size bed in that room. It might tell you that it wants to go for a run. That's great. There's tons of space in there. And now you can bring the outdoors in. All around, nature is there. Whatever you love, an ocean, the mountains. Maybe it's saying you need to eat. Maybe your body's saying that it's just tired. Maybe your brain's been working overtime. You might need to take a minute or 2 or 10 in this space without judgment and thank your body for all that it has been going through, all that it's taken you through, all that you've put it through. You might even need to apologize to yourself, to your body, to your heart for what you've allowed it to go through. And it's going to be completely normal to, in this space, in this big, beautiful, open space, for you to recognize you might not have the best boundaries. You don't know how to say no. You keep forgetting to eat or drink water or just breathe. So, come back from this space. Now you are here in your car or on the couch or wherever. And you can still be fully present and still be very aware to give yourself space. So this is a great exercise to use on a daily basis. And you can incorporate this with your time of prayer, meditation, but this is so helpful to start your day with reminding yourself that you are going to give yourself space. And see, what starts to happen is as you have more space, you have all this space. You can climb a mountain, you can go in the ocean, you could take a nap, you can work on that creative project. As you have space for yourself without judgment, and anything that your body is feeling in sensation that you are very aware of, and you are not casting judgment on, it's going to make it so much easier to hold space for others. In a post-pandemic world, there are a lot of hyperly overactive, triggered people that have been through trauma. They've lost loved ones. They've gone through a lot of fear. You've gone through a lot of fear. You might have lost loved ones. And so as you hold space and you learn and you practice holding space for yourself, you're going to be able to hold space for others. And it doesn't mean that it encroaches upon the space you hold for yourself. You get to hold more space because there is an infinite amount of space. So keep breathing and holding space for yourself and for others. So that was a part on holding space. Now I want to jump into being kind to yourself. All right. So these are my top 12 ways to be kind to yourself and to change your life forever. To change your life for the good forever and to live longer. Yep, I said it. Dare I say it? Even though all of these things are backed by science, I am not going to state all the listings and dates and scientific research that has been done, but you are welcome to do that. And Google really is your friend when it comes to that. Although I do mention it on a couple of these. And also, I want to say, I am not a doctor, a therapist, a clinician of any kind. So this is me speaking from my own personal experience and what I recommend to you. Okay? So the top 12 ways to be kind to yourself and change your life forever. Number 1, say no when you don't want to or simply cannot do something. What? What? Anastasia, I cannot say no to my mother. I cannot say no to my father. I cannot say no to my best friend. I cannot say no to the principal at the school. I cannot, to my boss, to my spouse, to my kids, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you can. I give you permission. I give you permission until you start to give yourself permission. So you have permission to say no. No is a very powerful word. I grew up pretty much in a household and in a culture in society, I would say, that no was almost like a curse word. Like you just didn't say no. You just say yes. You know that montage that's said, or that saying that is so well repeated, especially within Christian circles. But if you want something done right, give it to the busiest woman that you know, right? I hate that saying. I hate that saying on so many levels. And I honestly think I might do an entire podcast just on that saying, entire episode. And if that resonates to you, let me know. Drop me a comment and let me know if that resonates with you. But I hate it because it basically, in a backwards way, is saying that if you want to be known as someone who gets things done, you have to be the busiest person that anyone knows. It's so horrible. So the first way is to say no. All right? Just practice it. You can say it right now. Say no. 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 Nah. Mm. My favorite is not today, Satan. But you can say it however you want. No. All right. The next one is to read a book or a lot of books on boundaries. This kind of piggybacks on the saying no thing. But most likely, you are not kind to yourself because you don't have good boundaries. So, a way to be kind to yourself is to get good boundaries. And a way to learn to do something new that hasn't been taught to you, hasn't been taught to pretty much most of us, or uh, should I say any of us? Mm, yeah, probably any of us, um, is to read a book. So, read a book, get a couple of good books on boundaries. There's a lot of good ones out there. All right, the next, number 3. Set limits on people and situations that drain you of your energy and your precious resources. This is very important. Okay? Do not skip this one. To be kind to yourself, you need to set limits on people and situations that drain you of your energy and your precious resources. Energy is a precious resource. Every mom or student alive today knows this. So you need to set limits. If you notice, I'm not saying that you don't spend any time with these people or you don't put your time and energy into people or situations that drain you. So don't hear what I'm not saying. Hear what I am saying. You need to set some limits. You need to put some actual time limits on how much you are going to contribute to a person or a situation that is draining to you. Okay? I feel like I need to unpack that a little bit more. Trying to decide. I'm going to keep going. All right. But that is a big one. And it is okay. You get to decide. Okay, I am going to unpack it a little. You get to decide how much time you're going to give to that thing or that person. So if it's a person that talks to you on the phone and every time you're talking on the phone, it goes 1, 2, 3 hours. Okay, I apologize to some of my friends. Or it's like every time we get together that does happen. But I'm saying this to them as well. So if it is draining to you, and if you get off of those calls or out of those meetings and you're just like, oh my gosh, I need to take a nap. I need to go cry. I need a drink. Like, if you're recognizing that, that is a good indication it is draining you of your energy or resources. Okay. And those are precious commodities. So set limits. It's okay to do that. You have permission. It's your world. You get to live in it. Okay. Here's another good one. Number 4, talk to yourself like you would a friend who is hurting. Lots of times we are so understanding and compassionate to other people, but we forget to be like that to ourselves. Shout out to my type 1s, my type 3s, my type 9s, my type 8s, right? On the Enneagram. Like, this is the story of your guys' life for sure. But we're so quick to be kind to someone else, like a friend, a good friend. But a lot of times we don't take our own advice. So I want you to start talking to yourself like you would a good friend. All right? Who's hurting? Because right now, you're hurting. So talk to yourself kindly, like a good friend. Be a good friend to you. Huh, what a novel concept. Okay, number 5. I put this one in, and if you're a guy and you're listening to this, you're going to be like, most likely, you're going to be like, duh, why did she even include that? But if you are a woman and a busy woman, You're probably going to be like, oh my gosh, that's the hardest one, Anastasia. I just can't do that. Yes, you can. You can do this. You can do hard things. And I understand this is a hard thing. Okay. Number 5, take a shower or a bath. Hygiene. Feed your body 3 times a day. Drink water. Okay. Why do we drink water? Everyone talks about drinking water. Why is water so important? Well, first of all, like 80% of your body is made up of water. A lot of the earth is made up of water. All living things need water, come from water, right? Okay, we could go on and on. But also, water is going to help flush out the fat, flush out toxins, flush out illnesses, and literally help you to go to the bathroom. It also flushes out crap, right? You're going to feel better if you drink some water. If you're hungry, if you're now, this is not if you have not eaten, don't just I'm not saying go on a water fast. That's horrible. Do not do that unless your body is really able and ready to do that. We're talking about being kind to ourselves. So to be kind, take care of yourself. You have basic needs. Your body has limitations based on basic needs. This is not an episode of Survivor, right? Like, you have basic needs. Take care of yourself. That is a form of being kind. It's a huge one. It's a game changer. This alone will change your life. If you don't eat and you don't drink water, you will die. Now, you won't necessarily die if you don't take a bath, but you have all of that on you. Our son came home from basketball practice the other day, and my husband was reminding him of good hygiene practices because, teenagers. And so he's like, hey, dude, did you take a shower? And he's like, no. I don't want to. Can I take one tomorrow? He's like, no, you need to take one today because you were sweating profusely and exercising. You need to take a shower so you can get all that sweat, that salt off of you. And then he broke it down even more. He was like, that salt can give you rashes because your body sweats it out. And then it can become abrasive against clothing and such. And then you can get a rash from it. You can get heat rashes. Dude, take a shower. And then he was like, oh, okay. All right. So take a shower. Anastasia said so. I gave you permission. Those of you that you're like, but I have a nursing baby and I have a 2-year-old at home and I have even more, honey, take a shower. For the love, take a shower. Bring your baby, put him in the bouncer and whatever. Let them play with toys. They can be in the bathroom. You get in the shower. Clean yourself. Okay? All right. Next, number 6. This is a good one. Do less. That's it. Do less. In today's day and age, we do so much. This brings us stress, and it's a never-ending battle. So just do less. Be more intentional with your time and what you say yes to, and do less. Okay. Number 7, set limits on your time and who has access to you. Okay. Now, this can look like a lot of different ways. Don't get legalistic about this. Okay. But you can time block. You can do weekly map outs on your calendar of like the things, they talk about that, the big stones that you have probably heard it and seen it, but it's like it talks about the big stones and then the little stones and then the sand and then the water, right? And it all has to fit in this container. And it's a level of priority of how you're putting things in. What you're allocating time to, again, time is a precious resource. So set limits, set times. Okay. And on who has access to you. So not everyone should be allowed to access you at all times. Set work hours if you work from home or you're an entrepreneur. If you go into work, your work stays at the office. or the airplane or the whatever it is. Your work stays there. When you enter the threshold of your door, you could think about it. You could listen to a podcast, you could whatever. You could think about work as you're driving. You could even have work calls on your way home. But as soon as you hit that door frame, you shake yourself off, dust yourself off, and work stays there. Who enters in is you, fully you, because you deserve that. And this is a part of being kind to yourself, okay? All right. I think I harped on that one a little bit. Also, no one gets the right to have untethered access to you. Just because you have a cell phone and an iPad and a tablet and a computer and email and social media and blah, 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 everything imaginable, doesn't give anyone the right to have untethered access to you. I'm even going to say, including spouse and kids. There's just times where it's okay to just say, I'm not saying like disappear, but it's okay to say, you know what? I'm just going to have some like time to myself and I'm going to turn off my phone. And that's okay. All right. Okay. Here's another one. Number 8, go outside. For the love, go outside. Fresh air, nature. Step barefoot in the grass. This is a really good way to center and ground yourself, actually. And it's an amazing practice. I like when I'm feeling really, my circadian rhythms are really off and I'm just feeling really off. I literally now will take my shoes off, even if it's raining outside. And then we have a patch of grass like outside our door. So I will go out there, run out there, and just stand barefoot in the grass for a couple minutes. Oh my goodness. It quickly will just ground you, center you, refocus you. So it's really helpful. So there you go. There was a fun little added tidbit. From dust you came, to dust you shall return, right? All right. Also, go on a walk or a hike or ride a bike or run and stop and smell the flowers. So, yes, go outside. Do the things outside each day. Move your body, but do something outside. Even if you just stand for 5 minutes barefoot in the grass and breathe. Ooh, that's good. Okay. Number 9, pray. What? Anastasia, how is that me being kind to myself? How is that? Let me stop you right there. Science has proven that daily prayer and meditation can help with anxiety and depression. Did you know that? All over the world, depression and anxiety are common struggles, and only more so in the wake of the pandemic, right? Communicating through prayer is a way to heal difficult to reach soul wounds, says Wilson. This was a study that was done. She said studies have shown that praying and or meditating can help reduce levels of the stress hormone cortisol. This has been linked to improved mental health, as heightened cortisol levels can lead to increased anxiety and depression. And also, heightened cortisol levels in the body cause you to age faster. So, it literally will save your life. Prayer will save your life. And I mean, I could talk forever on this topic, but pray. And prayer doesn't have to look like closing your eyes, bowing your head, putting your palms together. Prayer can look, well, prayer can be really anything, but it's communicating with God. Now, some of you are going to be like, well, I don't believe in God. Okay. Well, I mean, it's a scientific fact that prayer will help reduce stress, anxiety, depression, and reduce cortisol levels in the body. so that you don't age fast, that you age slower so that you live longer. So you might want to rethink the prayer thing. I don't know. That's up to you, boo. Number 10, talk to a therapist or close friend about your week and how you are really doing. So this is a form of self-love and being kind to yourself because you're going to talk to someone that you can trust, someone that is going to be good at holding space for you because you got to get it off your chest, right? So prayer, talk to God. And number 10 is talk to a therapist or a trusted friend. Now, I like to talk to a therapist and trusted friends. The more people that you can have in your circle of who you can trust, the circle of trust, that that are going to give you good, sound advice and counsel, and also are going to validate your experiences and your feelings, is going to do wonders for you because it's going to tell your brain and tell yourself back that I have value. What I've gone through, my experiences, my stories have value. So, this is why this is a beautiful, wonderful, and very helpful thing to do. Talk to a therapist. If you don't have a therapist, get a therapist. And therapists everywhere are like, thank you, Anastasia. You're welcome. All right. Number 11, stretch before bed. This is so simple, so easy, takes 5 minutes. Most of you won't do it, but I encourage you to. Most of the time I forget to do this too, though. Tell your body thank you for all that it carried you through today. So as you stretch, you're going to thank your body. You might notice some tension in your back, some tightness in the neck, right? You're going to stretch, roll those shoulders back, and then you're going to thank your body for everything it carried you through. If you're pregnant, you're going to thank your body for carrying 2 of you or 3 of you through. Like, thank your body. I know some of you are like, that is so weird, Anastasia. That sounds so like, woo, whatever. I don't care. It works. Being thankful, having a grateful heart, expressing that, communicating, all of these things have been scientifically proven to help you live longer and to live a better life. Be thankful, have gratitude, thank your body. This is not hard to do. Okay? It might be silly at first. That's okay. We can be silly. You have permission to be silly. You have permission to laugh at yourself. Like, for goodness sakes, laugh at yourself. Oh, that should have been one in there too. But these are my top 12. Okay. There we go. Number 12. 10 plus 2 is 12. All right, number 12. And this one is like the best one because this one has been proven scientifically. They all have. But to have you live longer and feel better, drink tea or hot water in place of one of your cups of coffee. Huh? Okay. The reason that this is so good and helpful and beneficial is because caffeine, especially without food, has been proven to spike cortisol levels in the body. And as we know about cortisol, it makes you age faster. Nobody wants to age faster. Cortisol is what your body raises to get you out of like bad situations. It was part of the whole like fight, flight, and freeze, right? So you don't want to have elevated levels of cortisol pumping through your veins. And caffeine can do that. Coffee can do that. So drinking tea or hot water. We have a friend who's visiting with us, and he actually drinks hot water in place of tea or coffee. And it's just your body doesn't have to do as much work if you're drinking hot water. And your body needs the water and it's warming. So, lots of benefits to that. And also, it's not going to spike your cortisol levels and make you age fast because we all want that secret to young skin, life, vibrant life. So, there you go. Those are my top 12 self love, self care. No, not self love, not self care. Those are my top 12 ways to be kind to yourself. That's what I was trying to say. To be kind to yourself and also to help you live longer and just to live a better life in general. All right. If you found that helpful, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment below, ring the bell, do all the things. And also, you can send me a comment, send me a message on social media. You can find me on Instagram. I am the Anastasia Halcomb on Instagram. And if you're listening here to the podcast, this is the Bold and Unafraid. And if you're watching on YouTube, this is Anastasia Media under the Bold and Unafraid, and you can comment below. I would love to hear if this was helpful, if you had one of those things or two of those things that you were like, that was a game changer for me. Implement it in your life and let me know if this helped you, because I want to help you. And as I'm learning, we're learning together. We're learning about ways to be bold and unafraid and how to live in today's day and age and culture as healed and whole human beings that can love others. But we have to love ourselves first. We have to learn how to do that. So, I'm going to sign off. This has just been a pleasure. Blessings to you, blessings to your day and to your week. And until next time, next time, I think we're going to be talking about giving grace. That's going to be good, especially what it means to give grace and all the misconceptions around giving grace. All right. Blessings, my friend. Bye. What's your story?